How's it going?
Going good.
Pretty good. I would turn my camera on, but y'all probably don't want to watch me shove food in my face. So later.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
You on the road again, Paige?
Oh, yeah. Fun traffic.
You have some clients you're visiting later? Because you go house to house or site to site, right?
I'm actually working in a clinic now, but I still, with kids, it's a lot of after school. So I get off a little bit later.
Gotcha.
What's up?
Hello. Oh, MFA is going fancy with the microphone there.
I've always had it, but I can't hide it this meeting. Can't hear you, Elizabeth.
I thought I'd clicked it. It just didn't register. So do you have your own podcast or your own radio show? Like, what's the deal with the fancy mic?
Well, when we were long distance, my husband, fiance at the time, he wanted to be really sweet and read me books so I can fall asleep to them, fall asleep to his voice. He never did it, so good intention.
Potential brownie points dashed on the rocks.
Right. He never did it, but occasionally, I think once every month we have a game night with our family via Zoom and Jackbox. So it's come in handy because of the pandemic, but that was the original reason. But we're not using it for the original reason now.
That's awesome.
Delane, your lighting is like kind of throwing me off.
It is kind of trippy.
I don't know, like why. Oh, okay, I do know why it looks like this. It's because of this webcam. Because
Same
that I.
color.
Yeah. Here, let's try a different background. Let's just blur. How about that? Does that look more normal? No, it's still really bright.
I know there's
this
something
weird
going on.
halo effect happening around you.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I'll be in College Station this weekend. You going to the game?
We have tickets. I haven't decided if I'm going to go yet because 11 o'clock is kind of rough.
We have had like 5 11 a.m. games in a row, and it's the worst. Like, we still get out there at 8 a.m. to tailgate, but it's not nearly as fun.
Yeah, we haven't. We house skate.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone just heard Andrew, but his comment was it's very difficult to get blackout drunk at 8 a.m. in the morning.
I mean, it's not that it's that hard. You just need to consume a lot very quickly.
It's just not advised.
And you're going to feel like crap the rest of the day.
So a couple of weeks ago, what game was that Andy and them were there?
BYU.
Yeah, BYU homecoming. We were all taking shots of balcones before we went into the stadium. And then we got back to the tailgate after the game. And part of the beauty of having the tailgate is like we can wait for traffic to clear out and just like hang around.
Yeah.
But we all just like passed out. Actually, Beethoven took a picture of us because their tailgate is right next to ours and sent it to me and was like, "You're officially a tailgater now." Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Did
I
you
get
go
to see
to-
him every week, which is cool.
That's fun.
Were you at the OU game?
We did not go to the OU game. We were sick and tired of 11 a.m. kickoffs. And also, it was the alumni band game day, and I'm no longer on the board. I was on the board, so technically I was supposed to be there, and I didn't want to be there. So I was like, if I don't go to the game at all, then I don't have to participate in alumni day.
It's like when Nick accidentally decided, you know what, I just don't really feel like going to Bama.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it ended up being an exciting one, but I'm like, that might have given me a heart attack if I were there in person.
It's fair.
I was pretty proud of my Red Raiders. I mean, we're not doing great. But that field goal kick, though, at the very end, wow. Wow.
So we had one of those, I think it was 2014, that it was like the last minute field goal that won the game. And that's immediately what I thought of when I saw that. And I was like, oh, like, I know that feeling. I know how great it is.
It's like that can carry me through the rest of the season.
For sure. Wonder if I can turn down the brightness on my monitor. I feel like that's why I'm so bright. Do I look like a normal human being? Oh, yeah, I'm slightly more normal.
Yeah, that is better.
So Wes, you're back from Europe?
I am. I got back last week.
Yeah, how
Oh,
was
great.
that?
It was fun. It's still there. So
Yay!
I went to 2 Rotary Club meetings in Manchester, and so all good. You know, one was fairly geriatric, and the other was pretty engaging. You know, so I had some pictures. The guy took pictures, but he didn't email them or text them to me, so I don't have them to share with you. But I got a banner. In fact, I'll get the banner. I'll get back in a minute, and I'll go get the banner and I'll show it to you.
Ooh, yay.
So I have the first banner. Does anybody have a banner from our club? Have we ever received a banner?
I don't
Okay,
think
so I claim kudos for getting the first banner for our club.
Good job.
Yay.
Love
Thanks,
it.
Wes.
Awesome.
I'll go to Scotland in 2 weeks, and so I think at our next meeting I'll be in Edinburgh. I'll patch into you again.
Jealous.
Is this for work or just enjoyment?
It's work.
I'm so jealous. Even though it is work.
Well, I'm self-employed, so I get to
Fair enough.
call it. I get to call it work. So. But in actuality, I belong to the International Bar Association, and so I went to a conference in Paris, and it really wasn't my line of legal work, but it was still interesting to meet some fascinating people and make a lot of contacts. And the Bar Association in Paris is at this enormously rich building. I mean, we're talking big time money. Right in the center. If you've been to Paris, there's an island in the middle of the Seine River, and that's big dollar real estate, my friends, and that's exactly where the Bar Association was located. Big, nice, elaborate building, and next door there was a courthouse, I guess the primary courthouse in Paris, and there was a trial going on, And the trial was, you may have heard of the Charlie Hebdo terrorist attack in 2017, where some terrorists attacked a newspaper in Paris and killed a bunch of people, about 9 or 10 journalists. And there was one terrorist who survived, and he was being tried. So the place was surrounded. The courthouse was surrounded by well-armed French police. We had to pass through those lines getting to our conference. So that was interesting.
Baby, you need to join the International Bar Association so we have excuses to go places.
It's a great excuse, a really good excuse.
I got a tentative okay, so.
Okay. Well, I think we gave people enough time to join for today. So, as we mentioned last week, this is one of our more open discussion meetings, kind of a strategy meeting for today that will kind of dig in and kind of discuss and talk through our specifically service, but then specifically our larger service project that we want to focus on for this next year. So we'll kind of dig into that, in a minute, but couple announcements and things like that. We'll go ahead and start getting things moving for the draw names for the Christmas thing, the Secret Santa. Feedback from y'all too. I can't remember what we did last year, but feedback from y'all on what we kind of want to set as a limit, or what is everybody comfortable with setting as a limit for budget.
I feel
Anyone
like it was
remember?
20.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, was like 20 or so.
Okay.
That feels about like what we did last year.
Yeah, that feels good.
It feels good. Bear in mind that at that price, people are going to be paying shipping, so you might want to clarify that, shipping and sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the website we used last year, I don't know if we're using that again, but didn't it have like a built-in like marketplace or something?
Hey. I'll pipe in. Sorry. We were just finishing up dinner. But yes, we can definitely use the same website or something very similar. I've looked at a few of them for work stuff too. But yeah, it had like a built-in marketplace essentially, and it's like linked up to Amazon. And so you just put in like whatever that budget limit is. It'll automatically show you gifts under that or within that budget limit. So yeah, we can definitely do that.
Awesome, cool. So we'll if anybody's interested in doing that now, we'll kind of continue. We'll go ahead and start that list of names, but we'll send an email out to everybody else. But if you are interested in that, drop your name in the chat, and I'll copy and paste that to a list that I have going here, and work with Sarah on getting some of that set up. And maybe we'll kind of talk a little bit about the social meeting that we're having in a couple weeks, or the next meeting, 1st of December there. So reminder to everybody, we will not be meeting next week. We'll let everybody enjoy their time with their families and their travels, with not knowing where people are going to be at for all that. So we won't have a meeting next week, but then we will have a 5th Tuesday of this month. So 5th Tuesday of this month will be a BYO alcohol or coffee or whatever you want to do, and Elizabeth's kind of coordinating a little thing for that, where we just get to hang out, have a social, and that kind of thing. Elizabeth, did you have anything to add to that? Did you have any particular structure or items you had?
We will be playing pub trivia, so our technology might look a little bit different, or we might have some other technology aids in facilitating that, but we will work out all of those details, and I'll make sure you have that information ahead of time.
Okay, perfect. And then Sarah Tucker, aside from the free or the fifth week social that we're going to be having, do we have an update on the next speaker?
Yeah, so we don't have another one for November, but we do have, hold on, let me pull up my schedule.
Dr. Wu.
Yes, and he is on,
She.
oh, sorry. December 7th. So December 7th, Dr. Wu from UT Tyler. MFA, I believe I got that information over to you guys. And then I didn't schedule anything else for December because I thought we might also have another meeting like this or a networking meeting for the holidays. And then Wes has proposed Katrina for January. We just haven't confirmed that yet.
Yeah, I thought that would be interesting if you're interested. She lived the last 9 years in South Korea, so she's quite capable of talking about what an American needs to know when visiting Asia and how to interact with Asians in the social mores, the accompanying social mores. And I will talk with her about that. What day is it? That
is, I mean, we can do her on January 4th or January 18th, whichever one works better for her.
I'll ask 4 and 18.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask you guys, how have you been enjoying the speakers? And as far as topics and interests go and the things that they're bringing to the table, is there anything that you like or you don't like, things that you'd like to continue to see?
I wish I'd have been able to make the last one. It sounded like a really fascinating speaker.
That was a super cool one. I enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody else, but it was so informational. I feel like I learned so much.
Do we have a recording of that one?
Yes, I'm working on that. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit behind, but it will be up on our YouTube page soon.
Cool. Well, Wes, we'll have to send you the link whenever that recording is up. It was
good. I would like that. Yes.
It was very interesting. Sarah, I'm just curious, have you had a chance to reach out to my sister?
I'm sorry, I have not.
But yeah, my sister's an audiologist. I proposed, and she works for a nonprofit in Oklahoma City. And so I proposed her as a possible speaker.
Yeah, so I'll be reaching out for more speakers for 2022. Michael's going to reach out to Jonathan Tiarina to talk about, I think he's done a lot of work with diabetes, and
I was just about to ask what he's doing now.
A few other things. He's doing a lot.
He's finishing up optometry school, but he did so many things when he was at drawing a blank on that one in San Francisco area, that school he went to med school at. Popular one.
Stanford?
There we go.
And you guys tell me if you would like to hear. I've got a friend that some of you know who's a specialist in fracking, drilling, and oil and gas, and has a lot of information on the industry and how it's done and the goods and bads of it all. So if you'd be interested in that, I've got him as an option as well. What do you think?
That would be really interesting to hear about, just because I feel like it's a very hot topic, especially in Texas.
Yeah, cool. I like the idea of finding those people that we can learn from, which was, that last meeting was, I feel like, something that I was engaged. So.
Wes, is that your banner?
It is. This is from the little town of Sale outside of Manchester. Lovely club. They were very gracious, and I'll tell you a story. I mean, if you want to hear it.
Please.
So I went to this little club, okay, and it's just, take the train down the subway with a tram. It's tram actually from where I was staying in the hotel down to Sale, like 30 minutes. And they had a lovely club, kind of a hotel, nice food. They bought dinner for me because when I was a guest, that was a very nice gesture. And they had the speaker. The speaker was a woman who's with a small nonprofit that operates a house in Manchester that hosts women who have nowhere else to go. They have nowhere to go. They're usually young women. The house was started by a woman who's passed away about 50 years ago, and it has a small endowment. They raise money to keep this house going. They have about 6 or 7 rooms. They can hold 6 or 7 girls at a time, girls and women. Many young, many found on the street. And so they were raising money. And she was making her presentation, and the club was polite and cordial. And so I did the annoying texting routine. I called to the club president as he was saying nice words about concluding our speech and said, I've got 40 euros right here. And I waved 2 20 euro bills, 40 euros right here. So this woman can take it back to club. She doesn't leave this club empty handed if anybody will match it. And so the club president reached into his wallet and said, I'll give you 40 euros and I'll raise you 20. And I said, I'll call you. And I gave him another 20 euros. So she got 120 euros out of that. Not big money, but the point was made that it was a good project and a great way to spend money. She shouldn't leave empty handed. So our club was well represented. We had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Cool. So speakers, and then do we have any other announcements from anybody else? I thought we were good on everything there.
Let me comment on the speaker part. I echo what was said before. I think the best speakers are ones where we take something away. We learn something we didn't know. I think that's just part of being human and part of being Rotarian is learning something new and being able to apply it. So I tend to like speakers who are practical, have some sort of practical application, something new, something I didn't know before, something unique. So I've been really impressed with the speakers that we've been lining up. So Sarah, amazing job you've been doing, just finding some really unusual speakers I never would have dreamed of.
Thanks, Wes.
Agreed. Well, if we don't have any more announcements, like I said, we're kind of just going to be here to kind of hear from y'all. Really, the goal of this is with our Rotary Club. I think it would be awesome if whether that's a year-over-year thing or, we pick one this year and then we pick something next year and pick some type of organization that we can partner with, that we can focus on for our last quarter to be kind of our big fundraiser. And so we can use that fundraiser to, to help build, our club's bank a little bit, just so we can invest and work on a larger scale in the future. But then also be able to service somebody and have a little bit more attachment to an organization and work with them, a little bit longer term. And the whole idea of this is if we start to look at doing something like a raffle or something like that, and we try to ask people to donate money or buy something or donate a product to be used in that raffle, we want to show them that this is the organization we're supporting and this is why. So I guess my first question in that to kind of, before we get into which one should we choose, what organizations have you been involved with in the past that you've loved seeing what they've done and what impact they've made on a particular group of people, or how they've impacted you? And I just want to kind of have an open discussion about that part first, and then we can talk about, what ones have you looked at that you wish you can be involved in. So.
Well, I can think of just a couple that I've been involved with, directly and indirectly. And I can put links in the chat just if people want to check them out. So this first one that I'm sharing is called Mercy Project. It's a nonprofit that was started here in College Station by a family whose mission is to end child slavery in Ghana. And in Ghana, they're very dependent on fishing as an industry. And so their economic situation in a lot of cases leads families to part with their children kind of willingly into these slavery type situations where children are working and fishing because the family can't support them. And so they're working to not only return the children to their families, but also work towards changing the industry within Ghana so that there isn't that dependency on that labor source anymore. And so the way that they go about doing that, they have fundraising activities that are happening over stateside, but the group also has employees that are in country in Ghana, working with families, working with the industry to try and make some of those changes happen. They're the group that sponsors the marathon, the half marathon that I was training for when I broke my foot. Yeah, stress fracture. It's great. But no, and I've supported them just personally for a number of years now. The other one is actually, I'd mentioned my sisters with a nonprofit in Oklahoma City. It's called Hearts for Hearing, and they do a lot of education work, but also supporting families that have children with deafness or hard of hearing in terms of education as well as family support. And so they have a preschool there on site where they have children with hearing loss, children without hearing loss going to school together. They have speech pathologists, audiologists. They work a lot with early identification of hearing loss, and my sister does a lot in particular with cochlear implants. That's kind of her little niche, babies and cochlear implants. And so they always have a ton of different things going on as well. So those are kind of my two that I'm most familiar with.
Both of those are really first-class projects, and they have the earmarks of success in the way Rotary functions and any charity functions. First, it's an easy to understand concept. If you're going to explain and ask people for money, something easy to understand is good. And it's also the second one, and I think the first one too, are both you'll get the most money and the most impact with children and in raising cash. And working with another organization is a way that we can leverage our little group when we work with another organization, particularly another Rotary Club. And Mercy Ships has a great reputation. They're well known. They do fabulous work. And working with another Rotary Club for the children who need implants, it would be a wonderful, because then we can partner together and we can get things done more effectively. So you're hitting on the right things that I think make for a successful project and make it likely we'll be able to raise money and succeed and not turn into just, nothing ever got done, one of those projects. The whole issue with Heart to Heart in Mexico City, the partnering to raise money for a particular project. And then we have Rotarians on the ground who make sure that the money gets spent well. Those kind of projects tend to succeed. Here's another one I'm going to put in the chat. I belong to a club I attended a club in the Netherlands for a while in The Hague. And they had a great club, really good club, and they raised money for third world projects, and they were really effective. So a club that's well established that has an ongoing project, I'm sure they would welcome having some additional people to help, and it would also be effective. So a partnership involving children, other clubs, or a local charity like Mercy Ships, those are all winners.
I put a link in here as well. I haven't been able to find, I'm going to have to reach out to the director of this organization because it's a new organization. But some of you may remember Nathan Witt that came to speak to our club about Mineola and building programs for the youth there. And he explained the issues with youth and drugs and youth and suicide in Mineola, Texas. So that's something that might be a little bit closer to home too, but I don't know how advanced or how far he's gotten with that. I know that it is officially an organization. I'm not sure what the name of it is now, but they have done some work already in the city, and I know that they might need some additional assistance.
I think one that I'd throw, or one that I've worked with in the past, is Ronald McDonald House Charities. It was actually huge for my family. I have a cousin who, when she was 7 days old, was airlifted to Dallas, and had some medical problems that had to be dealt with there. And my aunt and uncle were able to stay at RMH, because I mean, for us, Dallas was, 2.5 hour, 3 drive up there. And so that was huge for me. And then lo and behold, get to Baylor, end up joining a sorority, and RMH was our philanthropy, which was kind of a happy accident, the way that turned out. And so with that, I was really able to see a lot of the good that we were able to do there. And the thing that I think is neat about something like that could be opportunistic for our club is there are Ronald McDonald houses all over. So when I was at Baylor, we would go to the one in Temple. I know there's one in Dallas. Like there's different opportunities to do things there. It is a bigger organization, but I really like, I think we all are having a similar thought of being able to make change and see it. And I think having that local component makes a big difference.
I've done a lot of fundraising for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And I think you're probably all very aware of my advocacy for mental health and mental illness. And that's another, that it's a really big organization, but they have local chapters all over the place. And there's different ways you can get involved with your local chapter, their local events. They've done virtual 5Ks for the last 2 years. And so a lot of places, like, you could get together. My mental health group at work, we have hosted a 5K, or been part of a 5K, hosted the team the last 2 years. So that's something that, whether it's that organization or something similar, we can look at partnering with something like that, where there's a lot of local chapters, there's virtual opportunities. And yeah, I like the idea of working with an organization where we all can see that local impact a little more, and get involved more directly.
I think that kind of went to my next question, which was, is there something that people are involved in now that they're extremely passionate about? That we haven't heard from you, and we know from Sarah and her involvement. And of course, I guess my idea in asking that question is, what have you done in the past? But also, if there's something you're passionate in now that our club wants to rally around, and we've already got a connection and relationship there, is that something we'd pursue as well? So I kind of wanted to hear everything, what you guys have been doing, but also, is there currently something that you're passionate and involved in? Aside from us.
Like
okay.
any service right now that we're involved in right now? Is that what you're asking, Michael?
Yeah, well, keeping in mind organization that we can partner with, that we can make an impact with, that we can plan for this last, maybe the second half of the year throughout that entire time, but also be our big end of the year project, our big end of the year service project. Yeah.
I'm really for anything. Kind of, I've clicked on the links and kind of glimpsed through some of and heard the last parts. I'm open to anything, honestly. Anything that's positive and that we can help out with is really it. But something that I do here in Weatherford is I help with the Center of Hope, and that's the big hub, the nonprofit hub that all the churches, all the other kind of organizations feed into and direct people to. They help with food packages and clothing and job opportunities too. They have this whole section of their building just for learning, to teach, to do like plumbing, for computer skills, for secondary languages. So that's what I'm involved in, but honestly, helping any of these organizations, I am on board for.
And guys, if I'm like slow or anything on answering stuff, it's because I'm copying and pasting and typing notes over here. So
Look at you
if any of
multitasking.
that is because I don't necessarily see y'all's faces when I'm doing this.
I was trying. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I'm on my AirPods, so I don't know how this works. I was trying to remember the name. That's why I didn't chime in. But to the previous question, there was an organization called Pencils of Promise that we worked with in college. And to the point of seeing something physical, it was like similar to Mexico. It was like you can raise X amount of money and physically see a school being built. And we did a fundraiser and did a silent auction and ended up building a school in Ghana. So Pencils of Promise is another one just to add to the list if you want school related building fundraisers. I liked that one a lot.
I agree. I'm a fan of the Mercy Project Elizabeth put out there.
And even if we don't end up working with that particular group, I'm sure I could get in touch with Chris and he could visit and do a program here, if nothing else, because I know when I was in the Bryan Rotary Club, he came and visited that club.
Okay. Those are all awesome. So the next thing I want to ask, and I think as I'm typing this and writing these notes and stuff and hearing from y'all, what I think I'm going to do next is probably do one of those Google Forms and get this to the rest of our members so I can get better information as far as, you know, all the input from everybody else on this. But it kind of brings me to the next point. When we have a when we have a project like this, you know, taking on something bigger than we have in the past, where we have individuals submitting, you know, their lunch sacks, or we have people doing things that are, yes, we're doing it as a group, but it's a individual effort to kind of meet your goal. But this is going to be a lot bigger, and it's going to be more of a group effort to meet a joint goal. If what I was kind of just threw in there and what I said, like with the Google sheet, is when it comes to this, what kind of travel time are people willing to go? What kind of financial burden are we willing to take on? Or do we have people willing to talk to businesses, donate goods and services? If we're doing something like a raffle or auction, we have people who are willing to do committee positions to help coordinate these logistics and stuff like that. So, like I said, we'll throw that in a form and get it to the rest of the group so we can find a true temperature of where people are going to be involved, so we can also decide how involved can we actually be. I'd love for, you know, everybody to get involved where they can. Obviously, if somebody can't do more on a financial side, maybe they can give more time on a committee. But I want to throw that out there to just hear different thoughts. Maybe we just start with one. How far, if we know you've got you know, a 4-week lead time, how far are people willing to travel to be able to do that? You know, I'll leave that out there as I start to type my notes on that portion.
I would be willing to travel in state. However, I have a lot of travel next year. Hopefully next year with work. So I don't know how available I could be if we were all to schedule travel internationally.
Yeah, I think in-state's really easy. Anything bigger is going to require.
It's going to require more money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are also willing to say, I'll only go an hour. Like, I'm fine with hearing that too. I just want to see what it looks like with everybody, and so we can kind of figure out what people are willing to do if we do have a runway on that.
Yeah. 10 hours.
I'm scared to
not all of
commit
us
to anything because I'm going to be writing my dissertation. So like, if I say 0 and then I actually do something, it will be a pleasant surprise.
So here's a thought regarding travel. We know convention's going to be in Houston next year. What if we work towards something in Houston?
That's great with me. I mean, and I can host. I've got several guest beds, so I can host people. And if you got a camper, you can park it, or a tent, you can park it on my land. I got plenty of room, so that relieves a financial burden if we're working towards something, an organization or something around this general area.
Well, and I think that would be something that, like, if, you know, finances for getting a hotel for the whole week and, you know, convention fees and things like that are a problem, you could still, like, come for the weekend, do a service project with us, you know, still be involved.
And it could still be a place where we all could get together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What week is convention?
Anybody got that date handy?
Anybody know off the top of their head?
June 4th to 8th.
Thank you. I feel like that's a good weekend too.
I really like that idea, especially since it does coincide with fourth quarter of Rotary, whether it be an organization in Houston or surrounding area or something like that. If we are going to do travel, I think that is probably the most accessible for the most number of people. Because Sarah, I mean, you're kind of our out of state person right now, and you're coming in for the convention, aren't you?
Currently planning on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna depend on some things, but yes, planning on it.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't think I was crazy.
Yeah, I do have a hotel room booked.
Okay, I know I'm jumping on this call like in the middle of things, but I will say the organization that we did the lunch sacks for is based out of Houston. So if we wanted to kind of double back and like do something with an organization, like with the same organization twice, they have a lot of like in-person group volunteer opportunities as well. If we wanted to explore that and say like, hey, we started out this year, like Q1, we did something virtually for them. Q4, we did something in person. Like, if there's not anything else that's jumping out at anybody, that particular organization is based out of Houston.
What's the name of that org, Madeline? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, it's Kids Meals, like KIDS apostrophe meals. And it focuses on like providing food to young children that like because of their SES of their family, they would qualify for like free or reduced lunch if they were in school, but it focuses on providing it for like those preschool age children who wouldn't be in school. So my guess is, I haven't looked at the website, and I'm currently in my car, so I'm not going to. But if one of you lovely people that are not driving want to do that, I'm sure they have some sort of summer program to try to provide food to all of those children when school is not happening.
Ways to volunteer. It takes hundreds of volunteers each week to prepare and pack thousands of meals. Volunteer shifts at kids' meals are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. And then they've got a summer juice box challenge from June 1st to August 31st. Teams from around Houston compete to be crowned the juice box champion. Okay, so that's just donating juice boxes. They have food drives and sacks, and volunteering is basically what they've got. Or we could donate a lot of juice boxes.
And if that doesn't work with like the schedule of convention, because it sounds like that was a pretty Monday through Friday kind of opportunity. So if we're looking for something on like a Saturday or Sunday, I'm sure there are thousands of places that are looking for volunteers in Houston. So if that one doesn't work, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, there might be a Ronald McDonald House in Houston as well.
I think we've got a couple of options. And not just a couple. I mean, it's Houston. There's so many charities. Like,
yeah.
But we've all said a couple of options that would fall in that category tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome. And look, we might not have to travel for anything. I was just trying to get an idea of what you guys thought and get wheels spinning on that kind of point as well. Because there's a lot of ways we can do this kind of thing.
That kids' meals place does have do-it-yourself lunch packs. So, like, we could schedule a day where we do it all ourselves and then just drop it off Monday through Friday during their drop-off times.
Or, the person who lives in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it throughout the weekend and then deliver them on Monday.
You can just grab like all the Rotary people, just be like, here, decorate these, go.
Wes, I'm looking at this app that you put in the chat, and that is such a cool idea.
I've actually helped someone who is sight impaired too. I've done it. I answered a call.
That's so crazy.
So, Michael, when should we kind of have this plan or or know which organization we're going to help out? Like, when's our timeline? How soon do we need to get going on this?
I would like to, and oh yeah, Madeline's here now too. I would like to be able to have a really good plan, at least starting or mid first quarter. So that we have plenty of time to plan and execute, and we don't feel rushed, and we can, navigate how we have to work and communicate with that organization. So I think that would be a good thing, because a lot of these other projects that we've done so far, it's like, okay, here's the assignment. You understand the assignment, do the assignment. Well, this is a little bit more of a planning situation, and how we're going to coordinate with them and getting people places, if we are getting people places, or if we are doing more of, this is, some of these conversations have been going more around actually being there for service versus doing something that's raising money to donate to an organization. So, that's actually gone a different direction than I originally thought it was going to be, which is fine if that's where it's going. I kind of originally thought, well, we're far away, maybe people don't want to get together, but maybe we've spent 2 years on the phone, and so these ideas are coming out together more and more now because we want to see somebody in person. So, but to answer your question and finish that, lengthy extra information I just threw out there, I would say I really want to have a plan or an organization sorted out by, beginning to mid first quarter of the regular year, third quarter for Rotary. Go ahead and move my hands too much and do stuff. I'm just catching up on this. I didn't see Wes here. Consider Mexico City in November. Okay. No, and I love that too, Wes, too, because it's something you're passionate about and something you've been involved with, and it brings Rotary groups together more.
Mercedes for lawyers? Yeah, I think we're all pretty passionate about that one.
Wes needs a Mercedes.
Oh, I'm one behind there. Sorry.
Andrew's literally on the phone right now discussing finances because he's probably going to buy a car this weekend.
Wes, you're on mute.
It grieves me when I meet a lawyer and, I notice his car and it's not a Mercedes, and I just feel for him. It's the kind of thing that just tears the heart out of anyone. And so I think that could be our club project, is raising money for maybe it doesn't have to be a 500 series. I mean, it could be a modest 300 or even a 200 series.
Can I be the first recipient, Wes?
Now, you could be. I mean, you're a club member. I think that gives you an edge. I think.
Yeah, let's say, excuse me while I go to law school real quick. Just gonna go take the bar like next weekend. It'll be fine.
I mean, Clayton's starting law school.
I'm gonna pull a Kim Kardashian, just decide to be a lawyer.
My goodness. Okay. I think I pretty much got everybody's links copied in here and a lot of these notes on that. Is there anything else anybody wants to add on that?
Look and see. I think Ski Walker was trying to log on.
Oh.
So she may be pending. See if you can see her.
Let me check my text. No, not there. I hadn't seen it yet. Delane you hadn't seen it yet, right? Okay.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye whenever we need to let someone in. Elizabeth, you got Wes's note there?
New members. Elizabeth is the most encouraging, so.
That's a nice thing for you
Go
to
get them.
say.
Go get them.
Quick note on membership, just as a general FYI to y'all. I haven't changed the password on the website, so it's still the old one if you still have that. If not, or you lost it, text me and I can give it to you, or email me. But in that members only section, there is I updated attendance as of last week, if anyone is curious about that. I mean, I think most of the people on this call are the ones who are here regularly, so.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is a total sidebar while Michael's reading comments. Was it just officers that got the email today about eClub 1? Did anyone else see that?
Oh, I haven't looked at my emails.
Has anyone else looked at their Rotary email
I
today?
did not see that. Let me see.
So Rotary eClub 1 is having their 20th anniversary. I was thinking about this because they're a go-to for makeup meetings. But they're also going to have an eClub showcase model. I haven't actually read through this email. I'm literally reading it right now as I say this to y'all. But that might be it's the first week of January, so that might be a cool thing for us to think about participating in.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I didn't see it at the president one, but it might have come to my personal, so I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, I'm
They
not,
put everyone on BCC, so I don't know who it was sent to.
could you maybe just forward it to all of us?
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing it either.
Surely I'm not the only one who got this email.
Sometimes certain emails only get sent to officers in certain positions. So if that just went out to all secretaries, you may be the only one who got it, Delane.
You got the joke, but you're on headphones, so I don't think they can hear you.
Oh, did nobody else make the joke?
We're in a serious meeting, sir.
Oh, okay.
I've missed Andrew in our meetings.
I don't see that in my inbox either, Delane.
Okay, I'll forward it to y'all.
All right, y'all. So if we don't have any other input on that, I guess my next step is I'll put together a Google form that we'll send to everybody to kind of fill out to kind of get a little more information on some of the things we discussed today. Maybe when we meet as a board, we can kind of narrow some things down and get some ideas as to which organization, so we could put that maybe up to a vote or something as far as getting involved with links to, you know, the organization and how they function or how we might be involved in some capacity to that. So that's kind of the next step on that. I appreciate everybody, you know, discussing this and working towards it. I think it'd be really awesome if we do get one of those larger projects together, like I said, so that we can continue to grow this club and make more of an impact. So if y'all continue to have ideas about them, throw them at us, throw them at me, you know, somebody on the board, and we'll continue to add them to this list that we're looking at, and try to really plan for beginning of this next year to have something locked in and a plan so that we can execute on that last quarter of the year for the Rotary year. But in the meantime, or I mean, to wrap up, let's go ahead and do our the four-way test. Should I type this out ahead of time? Did everybody memorize it? Do I need to type it all out? No? Okay.
No.
All right, y'all. The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Number one.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Two.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Three.
Will it
Will it
build
build
a
goodwill in the future?
And four.
Will
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right. Thank you all so much. No.
Lots of laughing going on over there, Layla.
Tell mom I said hi, Layla.
I miss Vicky.
All right, y'all. So thanks for everybody for being here. Board, if y'all want to hold on and we do this thing for the next hour or less or more, then we'll go ahead and attack that part, and we'll fill in the other couple that couldn't make it.
You're going to move into your board meeting?
Yeah, we had to reschedule just with the holidays and all the other stuff, so we can do that now.
Okay, I don't need to be part of it, but if you might give some thought to creating some banners. I looked and I could not find a place to do it. I mean, I'll be glad to help.
We can order them
Like this.
online, Wes. Sarah has sent some links. They're either in my email or in a text message, but she sent me some links, but we can buy them from Rotary. So there's a specific website.
Okay.
We just need to go and see what they're going to cost and how many we want to buy.
Right.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Long.
Bye, everyone.